What's going on, y'all? Your man Eric Wilson, in for the Sports Arena. Some major news came down last night. The Ball Out Media. Shout out to Mike Robinson. He's dropping the news that WNBA Los Angeles Sparks center Liz Cambage, according to multiple reports, is leaving the LA Sparks. She just got there and she's already out the door. So I had to make some calls, make a couple contacts. I got my man from the Culver City Observer, Eric Lampkins II, joining me. And I also got the Nightcast Media sports and entertainment reporter, radio host on Sirius XM, Nick Hamilton. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate y'all's time, man.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
So let's get right to it, man. And Eric, I'm going to come to you first, E. When you heard the news come down about Liz basically quote unquote quitting on the team, man, what was your initial thought?
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked at all. If anything, from watching Liz up close, she seemed completely disinterested in being there this year. I can't even begin to tell you how many games and instances where if she wasn't getting the ball, she wasn't playing defense, she wasn't rebounding. I kind of feel that she is more interested in what LA has to offer opposed to what she can do for the Sparks.
So, Nick, man, you've been around the game a little bit longer than myself with regards to the W. We're talking about a 4-time All-Star, holds the single game scoring record with 53 points. And all of a sudden, she's just going to basically throw that all away?
Well, it's not all of a sudden. Let's dive into some history, if we may.
Okay.
Let's go back to her days with the Dallas Wings. There was issues there. Then you go to the Las Vegas Aces. There was some issues there for her taking plays off, not playing up to her potential. I've always said this, and Eric and I have discussed this even in person. And I said from day one when she arrived in Los Angeles, I said this may not play out well because I looked at the track record. I covered her while I also covered the Las Vegas Aces. I was covering the Aces when she was there. And I noticed a lot of different things. And the fact that she did not take basketball as serious as she should have. Now, she's talented. I'm not taking anything away from her talent, but it was almost like potential. We all know what potential does. It's like volunteer work. You don't pay no bills. So that means absolutely zilch as it pertains to the game itself within the 94 feet. Then you go and she leaves the Aces, and I always raise this question: why did the Las Vegas Aces allow her, if she's so talented and such a part of the game itself, why did they let her walk away for nothing? And that is because they knew what the liability, or like I like to call her Elizability, that she was when it came to the game of basketball. She comes to the Los Angeles Sparks under Derek Fisher, and thinking that she was going to change. And she had an opportunity to change the narrative that she helped create. And if she goes and quits on the team, I was more surprised about the timing of when she quit versus her quitting, period. Because she came to Los Angeles, as Eric alluded to earlier, she came to Los Angeles for not just basketball, but for entertainment opportunities. She was a DJ in Vegas. She DJ'd a couple of spots in Vegas because she's into the EDM or whatever it's called, so she's into that. Los Angeles is the entertainment capital, and she came here for entertainment and to be seen first in basketball, distant third. And this is why we have come to the nature of where we come to today when she ups and quits on the team.
So, all right. So, you brought up a lot of good points, Nick. And then the one thing I want to discuss, though, is something that I'm sure we've all talked about at one point in time or another. And that's about the fact of what these women make here in the States playing in the WNBA. So do you feel like, and this is for either one of you gentlemen, do you feel like it was a combination of things? It was the fact that she knew she could market herself more in the LA market, doing the DJing, doing other things, knowing that she could potentially make more money. And like you said, Nick, basketball being the third with regards to priority, was that maybe like a springboard or a catalyst when she knew she got here and she saw more opportunities in Los Angeles, which I know is crazy to say because she's coming from Las Vegas, which is the entertainment capital of the world?
Well, Los Angeles being the entertainment capital, I mean, there's always opportunities here. I mean, anybody that comes here has opportunity. But the problem is when your job is to play ball, and that should be your first priority. I mean, look at Shaquille O'Neal. When Shaquille O'Neal came here in 1996, after a bidding war between the Lakers and the Orlando Magic, yeah, he was still making movies until Phil Jackson sat him down and said, "Listen, do you want to be a champion or you want to come out here and be a star?" If you want to be a star and make movies and do music, keep at it. But if you want to be an NBA champion, then you need to put all that aside and let's focus on basketball, which you came out here for, which is your priority. And he listened to Phil Jackson and look what the results are. So I'm saying it's a combination of things. I think, yes, it's Los Angeles. Yes, the money is not the top-notch money that these women should be getting paid. But at the same time, there was no leadership. There was nobody in there to pull Liz to the side before they even signed her and said, hey, where is your mentality? Where is your mind state? And then do the due diligence as far as talking to previous coaches, previous general managers, presidents of basketball operations, and say, hey, what is the deal with Liz Cambage? Where do you see her mentally? Do you think she still has it? Do you think she's a good fit? Even speaking to her international coach, which is Sandy Barndello, and getting their due diligence, but they didn't do that. I don't believe they did all of that. I believe they were so the Sparks and Derek Fisher at the time was so thirsty that they had to get somebody big in there because it was Liz Cambage, and they wanted to build around Liz Cambage when they should have built around Nneka Ogwumike, their current MVP caliber player, and been able to do it that way. But this is what happens when you go and play the name game and you don't do your due diligence. This is why Liz quit on the team. So I think it's just a combination. To answer your question, I think it's a combination of things.
And to piggyback off of what Nick said, just her body language around the team. There were too many times where either Derek Fisher was talking to her or even current head coach Fred Williams. She would be in the game. They would pull her out of the game to try to coach her up, and she completely dismissed them. She's completely ignoring them. She's disengaged. She would sit on the bench. Her teammates weren't even, trying to pump her up or encourage her while she was sitting on the bench. I just feel like, just like Nick said, that when she came to the team, Derek Fisher was trying to get a big name. He was trying to replace Candace Parker, and it just didn't work. It was a failed experiment. Liz Cambage, in order for her to be successful, she needs a slow tempo in order for her to get down the court. The Sparks have been running and gunning, and she can only take about 4 or 5 trips up and down the floor before she's got to get pulled out because she's gassed. She's got bricks for feet. She can't run. She's lazy. She plays with no passion. It was just a recipe for disaster from the get-go.
So then my question to both of you gentlemen is simply this. Has Liz Cambage played her last game in the WNBA?
If I'm a GM, I'd stay away from her. There's no reason for you to sign her. She's proven time and time again that she's not a team player. She's not a plus player when you're looking at the plus minus box score. Like she really adds no value.
Nick, what about you, man?
When talking to head coach Fred Williams today, he was much of a gentleman, more than I would have been. But he said, I think she may have a chance later on down the line. I'm going to have to wholeheartedly disagree with him on that because I think she pretty much burned the bridges that she had left in the WNBA because nobody's going to touch her with a 20-foot pole because she's a Lizability. And you can't afford, if you're president of basketball operations, if you're a general manager, you're trying to build a championship contender, you can't afford to take those type of chances. There are 4 teams in the WNBA right now that are serious contenders. That's the Connecticut Sun, the Chicago Sky, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Seattle Storm. And you look at the structure of those organizations and the diligence that they put in to building those teams. The Sparks don't have that type of diligence because they don't have that type of organization. And the organization starts from the top. So until they start getting the right people at the top of their organization, they're going to always have these follies, these f-ups, as it were, because they don't do the due diligence it takes to get it done. This is Los Angeles, second largest media market. There's a lot to do here. The Dodgers are winning. We're still talking about the Lakers. USC has Lincoln Riley. LA is about stars. You have to have stars and you have to win. And if you don't have the combination of both, then you're going to be in serious trouble. You're going to be on the back page of the newspaper. You're going to be on the back page of the digital space because no one's going to give a damn. And so the Sparks have to figure it out. Are they playing for the micro? Or are they playing for the macro? And they still have yet to figure that out.
Wow, man, I think that's huge. And just the impact that she's had in the time that she's played in the league, knowing that she has the potential to be an all-star, knowing that when she is at her best, she can dominate the game. To walk away from all that, I feel like there's more to the story, and I'm sure as time goes on, and if someone does have that sit-down interview with her, hopefully it'll be one of you gentlemen, maybe peel back those layers and see what was going on. But for the time being, Eric, when I text you this morning, man, you summed this up perfectly. You said Liz's worst enemy is Liz.
Facts. And that's the truth. She just, her heart is not in basketball. She's interested in being an Instagram model, a Fenty ambassador. Her page is popping on OnlyFans. And as Nick alluded to, she's DJing. She has enough money coming in to where basketball can be put on the back burner and she'd be completely fine. But in order for her to come back to the WNBA, Liz is going to have to do some honest inventory of self-capital to see where her heart is. And right now, it's just not in basketball.
Fair enough. Gentlemen, hey, I really appreciate y'all's time today on this. Thank you guys so much. Again, the Culver City Observer, my man, sports writer Eric Lampkins II. And again, Nightcast sports reporter. He's got his show on Sirius XM, Nick Hamilton, your man Eric Wilson for the Sports Arena. Gentlemen, much love to you both. Stay blessed and stay safe. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. You too, man.